27 years of coaching has taught me this one thing. If you don't have a infrastructure, coaching, workout partners, opportunity to get a lot of mat time, that's about 90% of your problem. But once you do have those things in place, it's really only about 10% of the solution. What I mean is this: you have to have year-round wrestling. You have to have partners. You have to have access to a wrestling room. You have to have a coach that is running a program in such a way that's conducive to winning. Now, I'm not bashing coaches, because remember, I was a triple jump coach in Texas, and we were third in the state in Texas in Class 6. I literally, one time down the hallway, there was OU, UCLA, and some other famous, University of Arkansas. These famous coaches were recruiting our girls, and here I am, 5'5". I'm the triple jump coach. Now, I just helped them with what they needed, but I let Stacy pretty much take over. She was the head coach, and all of our girls went to Fort Worth for their club coach, because that's where the AAU track, the famous. So I didn't try to act like I was a triple jump expert. I just did what Stacy trained me to look for. I helped the girls, and they were beast athletes, right? So some of you have a coach who just doesn't know what the hell they're doing, because they're a football coach. They wrestled maybe 2 months back in 1994, and they're like, dude, I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm the football coach. The athletic directors asked me if I would take the team over. I'm doing it. So if you don't have a tremendous coach, understand that it's not the public school system's job to hire you an expert coach. And if you get stuck with a triple jump coach like me, or you get stuck with a football guy who doesn't know wrestling, who's your head coach, it's a problem unless you have a club or academy or somewhere to go to. So you got to have these things in place. You just do. But when I say it's only 10% of the solution, once the partners and the coaching and the system is in place, that means this: join the club. So let's say 800 kids in America at your age and weight class, within 2 years and 10 pounds of you, have these things in place. Well, now you're one of 800. Who gets to go to college wrestling? Who gets a $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 college wrestling scholarship or opportunity? Who goes to the big national tournaments and can finish top 20? Who can be ranked top 50 in the nation? Who can be ranked top 10 in the nation? So 10% of the solution means this: join the club. Just because 99% of the kids don't have these things, there's a lot that do. So how do you separate yourself? I like to say this: take a piece of paper, right? Remember, a pen and a piece of paper is the most important thing that you have. You should have a pen and a piece of paper in your wrestling notebook. Write down the things that you need to be successful that the coach cannot do for you. And this is very important too. If you don't have the qualified coach or the experienced coach, can you lift weights? Can you get to bed on time? Can you stretch after practice? Can you run hill sprints? Can you do plyometrics once or twice a week? Can you study the sports psychology side of wrestling 2 to 3 hours a week? Can you drive an hour and a half in on a Sunday and get a practice time in? Sure, that might mean skipping, time with your friends, Friday night. Maybe there's a clinic, there's a camp, there's opportunity. So there's a lot of things that are, the Penn State guys. One of them, I think it was Bo, he was just recently said, their performance coach says, I think you're wasting your talent. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she was like, I just think you're wasting your talent. So here you are at Penn State. And then he was like, that's the reason he was, third or fourth in the nation last year. He's like, she was right. Bonnie was right. I had to do better. So even at Penn State, the burden of excellence falls upon the shoulders of the athlete, right? So at the college level nowadays, are you doing extra? Have you even taken a pen and piece of paper and written down your strengths and weaknesses? I have kids come to camp and their parents are like, oh, they're just not good on bottom. It's just costing. I go, it's okay. So once you start noticing this, and they go, oh, it's been 3 years. And I'm like, 3 years? And you still can't get off bottom? Dad, that's on you. Coach, that's on you. And it's on you as a kid. Sure, maybe if you're 7, it's not your problem. But once you get to be like 12 years old or older, if you're like, oh, my weakness is I can never get off bottom, you should have that fixed in 2-3 weeks. It shouldn't be years. Attack this stuff. So even if you're somebody who falls into the category of just not having the infrastructure, find out how maybe you can supplement with camps. Maybe you can get a partner and go to we have kids that do this. They'll come to our camp with a friend, the 14 to 28 day camp, and then they take the practice plan that they have mastered and we email it to them. They print it off, they put it on a wall, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna buy a home wrestling mat. And Jonathan's coming over once a week or twice a week. Maybe if you go to the same high school or you're in the same youth area, now you have learned the practice plan and you set up a training camp for yourself. You bring your partner over and twice a week you drill this stuff. Twice a week after school, you drill this stuff. Then you do your hill sprints. Then there's 3 days a week of lifting. After school, maybe you join a gym. So that would be the way to circumvent it. Obviously, our Wrestling Online Academy can help too. I'm not here to sell you anything, but if you had interest, you could do that. If you don't have the coaching, but you got to find a friend. You need to get 2 or 3 workout partners who are committed and get access to a mat, and then you can master the 4-part wrestling course that we offer. But even if you have Cael Sanderson as a coach, there's so much things that fall upon your shoulders. So that's the reason I'm like, it's only 10% of it. Once you have the infrastructure in place, there's so many little moving parts that you have to do. Maybe if you are terrible at cutting weight, maybe if you don't even know anything about nutrition, how many grams of protein you need a day. Maybe you don't recover well after weigh-ins. Maybe you're cutting weight the wrong way. Maybe you let the nervous and the anxieties of wrestling ruin your opportunities. Maybe you're not very disciplined. Maybe when your buddies, they want to go hang out and party, you go with them instead. Hey, you're supposed to go, you have a freestyle tournament Saturday. You canceled it. You didn't show up to that tournament because you were out partying on Friday night. You don't really want it. See, those are the things that are very important. So make a list of all the things that you need to be successful, and then circle the ones that the coach cannot do for you. It's probably about 95% of the list is your deal. Now, the other 5% is very important, right? That 5% is very important just to become a wrestler who can defend themselves on the mat. But so we need to get that in place, and then let's attack all this other stuff, because you have to separate yourself from a very large pool of athletes. And once you start to hone in and realize just how much time is taken, it's going to be 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. Put in 12 hours a week. It's 12 hours a week. That's what you should be putting in if you want to wrestle in college, or at least have an opportunity. They say statistically, only 0.9% of the high school athletes get a chance to wrestle in college. But we have a lot more than 0.9%. We just had 32 kids sign D1 scholarships in the past 2+ years, and about another 20 have went NAI, Division II, whatever. Because really, there's only 0.9% actually trying. It's like, how many people have made their New Year's resolution work? Not very many. Does that mean New Year's resolutions don't work? No, they work. It's just most people aren't actually serious. So I'm asking you to get serious. Take the bull by the horns. If you want to have success, you can do it. Good luck.